Cairo, the largest city on the African continent and home to the last remaining ancient wonder of the world. So many people dream of standing in the shadow of the Great Pyramid, but the fear of unfamiliarity in a turbulent Middle East leave many tourists asking the same question: is it safe? My name is Ricky Moreno, and I'm gonna show you the most popular tourist attractions in the city and all the reasons why
I love Cairo.
I love Cairo.
بحب القاهرة.
I love Cairo.
Welcome to Cairo. Before you even leave the airport, you're gonna be hit with a realization that you're very far from home. Now, to get into the city, save yourself the hassle from trying to use any kind of public transportation, because Uber has become very popular here, and for literally just a few dollars, you can get yourself anywhere in the city.
Where will you go today?
Hi, Tahrir Square, please.
Okay, welcome to Egypt.
All eyes were on Egypt in 2011 when a violent protest erupted in Cairo, and Tahrir Square was the epicenter of a revolution that proved to be a turning point in Egypt's history. Today, the unrest is still ongoing, and although the violence has subsided, there's still a heavy presence of armed guards, creating a very tense environment, or safe, depending on how you feel about machine guns. The word Tahrir means liberation, and this square serves as a reminder that the people of Egypt are strong, proud, and continually striving to make their country a better place. All right, so it costs 80 Egyptian pounds to get into the pyramids. That's about $4 to see an ancient wonder of the world. Wow. The Sphinx guards the entry to the pyramids of Giza, which are possibly the oldest tourist attraction in the world. Modern-day Cairo has swallowed them up, making the pyramids just a short taxi ride from the city center. And that moment walking up and staring at them for the first time blew my mind. Wow. I can honestly say, without any hesitation, that standing here in person in front of the pyramids, it's the greatest travel experience I've ever had. Just thinking about all the pictures I grew up looking at, the styrofoam replica I made in 6th grade. But to be here in person now, for real, they're huge. I feel so small, oh my God. The Great Pyramid stood as the tallest man-made structure on Earth for thousands of years. And the questions of how, when, and why these pyramids were built have shrouded them in mystery, opening the floodgates to countless conspiracy theories. Even tourists from ancient civilizations like the Greeks and the Romans used to travel here to marvel at these structures that were to them already ancient. But today, the pyramids feel empty and abandoned. Tourism has dropped by nearly half in Egypt, and that's a disaster for an economy that has depended on it for so long. But there's also a guilty pleasure in being able to virtually stand alone in front of one of these bad boys. All right, you ready for this, buddy? You're sure you can handle the weight, right?
Yes,
Don't worry, the camel is very stronger.
All right, here we go. Let's go. I would hate to be a camel stuck in the desert having to haul around tourists like me every day. But hey, when in Egypt.
Now, I'm so glad about you, brother. After when you finish the camel, you will walk like Egyptian.
Here I go, I'm going on a mission. Come and join me on my expedition. Maybe I will jump into the deep end. Paradise and only for the weekend. I don't wanna ask why. No more sitting around wishing I could see the world. Let's dust off the globe and walk like an Egyptian.
All right, how you doing?
I'm fine, brother. How are you?
I'm great. We can all agree that the pyramids are about 4,000 years old, right? How do you personally think that the pyramids were built?
وليست غريبة عليه التعامل مثل هذه القضايا بشفافية.
Cairo has been a center of civilization for so long and has the fingerprints of so many different empires throughout history. The Citadel, which was built on this hilltop behind me in the 12th century, was used to fend off crusaders. What started out as a heavily guarded fortress intended to keep people out has opened its doors, now inviting visitors in to learn about its history. Most people come here to visit its magnificent alabaster mosque. The Mosque of Muhammad Ali, the star of the Citadel, sits front and center on the hilltop and can be seen from all over the city. There are many mosques you can choose to visit during your time in Cairo, but this one has garnered a reputation for being tourist-friendly and allowing cameras inside. I feel so safe and welcomed in here. It's very peaceful. Cairo can be overwhelming, which is why it's nice to know that there's a good option if you need to give yourself a break for a few hours. Al-Azhar Park is the green lung of Cairo, with masterfully landscaped gardens and fountains, and it's only a short walk away from the Citadel. Al-Azhar Park was built to be like an oasis here in the city where you could just kind of get away and relax, and these are some of the best views that I think you can get here in Cairo. Gives me the chills to sit here during a call to prayer as it echoes through the entire city, through every street, from every direction around me. And way off in the distance, I could just make out the pyramids, and they just seem to be looming over the city like guardians over Cairo. What a powerful experience. Hello. I would like a ticket of 75 pounds. Can I get 2 tickets and 1 photography ticket?
Camera, 50 pounds.
Okay, so two passes and 1 photography pass. Shukran. The Egyptian Museum is world famous for its attempt to catalog the colossal history of ancient Egypt. The Egyptian Museum has a seemingly endless amount of artifacts, and a lot of it they just keep in storage because there's not enough room to show everything. And what is on display here is very disorganized, and you can easily just spend an entire day just walking around looking at everything. When the mighty pharaohs ruled over the land, they shaped a civilization that was so mystifying and so monumental, leaving behind an unfathomable legacy for us to try and decipher today. Make sure you see King Tut's mask, and make sure you see the mummy room. And the mummy room, they charge an extra 100 pounds to get in, so make sure you bring enough cash for that. Staring into the face of Ramses, an all-powerful king who breathed his last breath of air so long ago, will make a chill run down your spine. It's so haunting. In Saqqara, you can venture underground into the world of the dead. Because of its proximity to the ancient capital, this was the prime burial location for kings and nobles. This is the tomb of Ti, a high-ranking official during the 5th dynasty, and although the vast majority of these tombs were ransacked by grave robbers and stripped of their treasures before officially being discovered, there's still a nightmarish exhilaration for those brave enough to explore them. Upon entering the tomb, you'll find a series of rooms that once housed everything necessary for a smooth transition into the afterlife, marked with hieroglyphs telling the tales of daily life here on Earth. And I can only hope that they're not spelling out a curse as I make my way to the burial chamber. The Nile River has been a powerhouse for Egyptians since its beginnings, and the sole reason that civilization was able to spring up in such a desolate environment. This river is the lifeblood of both ancient and modern-day Cairo.
Some people spend their whole lives here on the river, transporting goods up and down between cities in these sailboats called feluccas, very much like they used to do in generations past. And here in Cairo, you can get a glimpse into one of these past lives by taking your own ride in your own felucca.
Felucca rides aren't organized like the big steamboat dinner cruises you could find here on the Nile. To get on a felucca, just walk along the riverbank until you see a friendly face willing to take you out on the water. The price for a 1-hour ride is negotiable, and it's worth every Egyptian pound to relax on the Nile with the wind in your sails.
Sail away, you and me, on the Nile, for today, you and me, with a smile. Let's find out who we really are.
Thank you so much for letting me ride on your felucca. I really appreciate it. So, shukran.
Welcome, Egypt.
Thank you so much.
I love you, Cairo. I love you, Egypt. I love you, Rival.
Thank you so much.
Let's find out who we really are.
Odds are that everyone back home is going to want a souvenir from your journey to Cairo. And Al-Khalili Market is the place to be. A labyrinth of shops where you can find anything and everything you're looking for, from Egyptian cotton to golden camels. And while Egypt has gotten a pretty bad rap for having very aggressive street vendors, you can likely avoid any bad experiences by coming in knowing what to expect. Just say La Shokran, which is Arabic for no thank you, to help you keep your cool. And if that doesn't work, you can escape to a shisha cafe.
Come to Al-Khalili Market ready to haggle because there are no set prices, and the most fun you're going to have here is negotiating a good price that you feel is fair for the souvenir that you want. But a couple tips that'll help you is never show that you're too excited to buy something. That'll ruin everything. The key, this is exactly what I've been looking for. I've been looking everywhere. Another tip, never accept their first offer. They're always going to start really high, expecting you to go really low and meet somewhere in the middle. How much for one? How much for this one?
350.
Egyptian pound. 350? Yes. Yeah, sold. Thank you very much.
Really, I'm serious.
And the last tip is never show how much money you have. They're just gonna keep upping the price if they know that you can afford it. This is great. Thank you so much.
Welcome. That's a real American.
There's so many things to see and do in your tour of Cairo, and there's no way you'll get to all of them in just one trip. Don't be afraid to leave your comfort zone. In my experience here, I felt out of place, but not once did I ever feel unsafe. This city has the ability to make you feel very far from home, yet very welcomed at the same time.
I just so happen to be here during Ramadan, the holiest month for Muslims, where all day long they abstain from food and water, but as soon as the sun goes down, they pack into the streets and break their fast, and the rich buy food for the poor. Everybody's sharing a meal, everybody's eating for free and celebrating. Hey, Becky! What's up, guys? And you don't have to be Muslim to join in on this celebration. I'm invited, and so are you.
Now I don't want a guy, I call vanilla I call but never salmonella